Okay, so here we are, we're on the beach, we're all set up and we're fishing. Got 2 rods out. I'm here with Jason, the Eastbourne fisherman, who's over there in the dock. You can probably just about make him out. Both got 2 rods set up, both got big baits on. We'll talk about those big baits a little bit more as and when. So there's our rods set up. One on the left has got a stinger rig on it, so a little tiny hook with some worm, just to catch a whiting, and then hopefully the whiting is going to be transfixed there, and straight above it is an 8-0 hook. So if we get a conger come along and engulf that little whiting, there's a hook there waiting for him. Definitely something on there because it's definitely rattling. And then the second rod, it's got a whole cuttlefish on it, and that's tied in with a bag of carts to give a great big scent trail to lure those eels out of the reef. Now there's a reef off to our right. If you remember, if you saw my recce video, I came down and had a look at the reef, and we realised we were going to lose a lot of tackle, but I think we both sat and thought about it and then decided that actually it would make for a very unenjoyable evening. So we're fishing near to the reef, but hopefully not in it. But we're using scenty enough baits that the eels are going to come out and feed. That's the plan. And my target, I shouldn't really be saying this because it's going to jinx me, but the target is to get 20 pound plus eel off the beach and get my conger flag back. I think it's 20 pound off the shore, 30 pound off rough ground, or 40 pound off a wreck allows you to join the British Conger Club. And I'll put some details up on that on the web page. Yeah, but what we're not looking for is hundreds of whiting. Definitely got a whiting on there because it's been rattling and tapping, and it's still rattling and tapping, which is what we want to see. And what we're not going to do is go and strike into that because that's our bait. If the rod suddenly lurches and bends right over, then we means we've got Mr. Conger or Mr. Bass or Mr. Ray or something big. Might even be a big cod. A cod will be nice. We've been after the elusive cod for a while this winter. I think it's popped a little bit too late in the winter for cod off the shore, but you never know, you never know. Right, so I'm sitting here with a newspaper and I'm going to make a cup of tea with the newspaper. That's what I'm planning to do, so I'll show you how I'm going to do that. We're going to do it with a good old Kelly kettle. So here's our little fire pit. There, it's going to be the fire. A nice stable, firm, level base. The Kelly kettle's going to stand on top of that with boiling water in it. We don't want it falling over. We'll put some water into the actual Kelly kettle itself, so it's ready to go. Being sure that we put the water in the right part of the Kelly kettle. We don't want to pour it down the chimney because that just puts the fire out. Just enough for a cup of tea. That should be enough for a cup of tea, shouldn't it? Maybe a little bit more. Oh, the food smells that are coming out of that restaurant are driving me nuts. Gonna have some soup in a minute. Right, so we're going to use one of these tools. Never used one before to a great effect. I think the trick needs to be that you create a little hole for it to be collected in, because otherwise it just falls all over the place. So we're going to collect some magnesium. Put a rock on there to stop that blowing around. So this bar here is magnesium, all right, and then you've got a striker on the outside of it. Now I'm led to believe that the magnesium is quite safe until it's in a powder form. Now it says on the instructions you've got to collect about the size of a penny of this stuff. I think that's actually harder than it sounds. Getting there. As I say, it's, when you read the instructions it sounds so simple. Right, well, I'm losing the will to live on this. I think I've probably got enough. So the next thing, I'm going to put this in the middle of there. Got some kindling ready to go, so once it goes we'll lob this on there as well. It's all wrapped in plastic to keep it dry. Well, blow me down if that didn't work. I seem to. Don't want to set fire to my tent. Some sticks going in here. The kettle is definitely boiling. No mistaking that. The question is going to be how I get the kettle off the fire to pour it into my teacup. I know how you do it. You lift it with a handle and a chain. Is he begging chips off you? Bloody hell, it's the sea's here! Yeah. Oh, it's only an hour till 9, isn't it? It's only an hour from the top of the tide, so. Yeah, as I say, I think that ridge here will be the. Like I say, Jesus had a big bite then, but it's you putting the thing. Yeah. I don't even know. Is it a big tide today or not?
6.5. 6. I think it's 6.8.
Oh, so big.
Quite a big one.
Yeah, yeah. got a bit of interest on my right hand rod there. It's only little taps and rattles. I mean, so it could just be whiting or something pecking away at the squid that's on there, the cuttlefish that's on there. But we all know that conger eels can be very subtle in their bite. Initial little knocks and rattles before they actually go engulf it and swim off. Just keeping an eye on that. Don't know if you can see it at all. Put the spotlight on it up here. Definitely some interest on that. I've got a bit of interest on this right hand rod. The left hand rod, I think it's just picked up some weed, but this is just giving little knocks and taps. Yeah. I mean, look at my right hand rod. That's a whole cuttlefish on there. That's definitely fish. It's not a bit of weed or something along the line. When you see it go like that, you go, keep going.
Come on.
Yeah.
Do the eels on.
I took a mate of mine out conger eel fishing on my boat at night, and he'd never been conger eel fishing before, and we put our baits down, and within about 10 minutes his rod's tapping, and he goes, I've got a bite. I said, no, that's just pouting. And he said, well, how will I know when I've got a bite? And he's the sort of bloke, he's very loud mouthed and noisy. Yeah. And I said, you will go, help. And anyway, he's eating a roll, he's got a roll in his mouth, and all I can hear is, his rod's going like that. I said, just like that. And we were fishing in quite a shallow wreck, so the eels come up and go all the way back down again, so you get it to the surface and then they'll take it all the way back to the bottom again. Yeah.
I can't wait to boat fishing. I've never done boat fishing.
All right. But
I've been out on a boat and I threw up everyone.
Oh right, okay. Oh well. Make sure you deal with that.
I will,
yeah. Because I won't come back.
Just throw me over with a buoy.
Well, no, you'll just have to be ill. A bloke I work with, he'd been a submariner.
Oh yeah.
So he used to come out with me, and we'd get out to sea and he'd be sick. But the moment we got out there, the moment we got back in, and I said, Neil, I'm not taking you out anymore. He said, right, well, I love it. I said, Neil, I'm putting on weight. He said, what do you mean? Because I keep eating your bloody sandwiches. He said, but I love it. I said, but you just go out and then go to sleep in the front of the boat. There's no company.
It's all multipliers on the boat as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't tend to use fixed balls on the boat. Yeah, well, it's easy enough. I mean, I've got all the gear. You don't have to worry about gear. I've got loads of boat gear.
You can feed it left to right, don't you? Or has it got all
to be quite honest, I don't. You only really have to worry about that when you're beach casting and you're filling the spools. I don't tend to fill the spools. So you don't want it all bunched up on one side, but you don't have to work hard at it.
Yeah. What do you make the time now then?
It's 27 minutes past 8.
It's still got a good half hour then, haven't we?
Yeah, but I mean the tides are like a wave pattern, aren't they? So actually the last half hour of the tide, that isn't going to rise very much.
I think we're in the last half hour now, I think.
I would think so, yeah. So, I mean...
If it comes any closer than what it is now, just move back a little bit.
Yeah, I think if the first wave that hits the bottom of your tripod...
Yeah, then we'll move back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit chilly, isn't it?
Hey, there's a big fire engine reversing down. I hope it's not coming to come put my bloody my tent out.
I don't know what it's even up there.
Perhaps that was the smell of cooking from Pierre, Bistro Pierre. It was the kitchen was on fire.
It's probably your bloody thing, wasn't it?
Well, I was going to say, it's possible someone said there's loads of smoke coming from down there and what have you. Not me, no.
Well, the bait's out there, mate. I think we're out at a pretty good distance now. Even the ones that are short cast are out at a pretty good distance.
Yeah. I'm pondering on winding my right hand one in and checking it actually.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Right. Whoa. good, mate?
Nothing happening now. I mean, it could just be a bit of weed that's been on the line and a wave struck it. But you normally see more of that than's happening now. So we're not catching any fish, but we're just standing around talking fishing stuff. It's kind of at this stage of the night, isn't it, where you think, so I put a whiting bait on. No, we're not.
No, don't lower ourselves to the whiting.
I would rather blank
Yep.
than catch a load of whiting.
Yeah, we're here for the big one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, on that, when I did that catch and cook with the whiting, that was cool. That was actually. And you know something, that was nicer than cod.
It was nice,
yeah.
I do like whiting. Whiting's nice.
No. I've never bothered with it. I've used it to make fish pies with it and stuff like that. But if you have it really fresh, oh, do I bring that rod in and check the bait, or do I leave it because there's something going on there? It might just be I've got some weed on it.
Does look pretty good. We've had quite a few good nibbles.
Yeah. You find out if we snagged up and can't get in. Oh, it's coming. Oh, that's probably the culprit there. I mean, this is baby. I mean, cut-off fish like that, generally, monstrous great things.
Do you want to inject that with some seagull, like the cap?
Yeah, it could do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually still got a lot of carp in it. Yeah, just don't stick it in me.
No, it's not a needle, it's just like a tube. Let's go through the top there.
Oozing with the sea goo, all over your hands.
Yep.
Jason looks like he might have something on. Whiting! That is one determined whiting. Look at the size of the hook. The hook's not as big as the fish. The bait's as big as the fish.
Yep, taking a whole, I think it's 2 squid on that one. 2 squid and a load of razor. So yeah, we haven't blanked, but we got something that we didn't want.
Well, the skunk is out of the boat, as they say.
Days.
Yeah. Right, well, we know that there's whiting out there. So what we're going to fish here is we're going to put a stinger rig back out there. So you've got the main hooks for our prey species, the Charlie Conger, and we're going to catch a little water whiting on these 2 little hooks here, hopefully, and they're going to hang on there until a hungry fish comes along and eats the lot. It's on a wire trace. It's a fairly fine wire, but the point being it's stronger than my main line, but abrasive resistant, so the Conger's teeth aren't going to cut through that. So that's it, that's our stinger rig. Got a little bit of luminous tube on here just to help the whiting find the bait as well. A simple pulley rig. The question is, am I going to put a weak link on it? It is a tad snaggy out there, so we're gonna put a rotten bottom link on it. It's gonna go on the bottom of there. Hang up there like that. Nicely done. And then we'll put the lead on here. So we've got a rotten bottom on there. Make sure the legs of the lead are all clipped in place so it's gripping the bottom. And then the lead hooks in here. Let's get rid of those loose ends. So that'll withstand the weight of the cast, but as it hits the water the nut will slide up, releasing the weight. And then we're just going to bait this up with a little bit of worm. This nice salted lugworm. So these were alive when I put them on salt, and so consequently they're nice, still juicy. There's a little circle hooks on there because I want it to be hooked by itself and then stay hooked, because it will stay on there the duration of the fish. Now unfortunately I snapped out, so I don't know if there was a whiting on there or not, so that's why we put this rotten bottom on it. So there's the bait for the whiting. Whiting comes along and eats that, gets hooked on this, Charlie cod comes on and woofs the lot. Now we've got a rotten bottom on there, we've got a kite for kiting it up, and we've got a number of ways of hooking this on. I think I'll use it by this bottom hook here, so it's nice and clear of everything. And in fact, one of these little hooks. Yep, there we go. Oh. Billy, what were you begging? Yeah, Jace. So that's my stinger rig.
Oh yeah.
With little tiny hooks attached to the big heavy hook, and then below that I've got a rotten bottom link. Okay, so that takes the weight for the cast, but as soon as it hits the water, these fly up. That opens, that gate opens, and the weight is then just held by that bit of line.
Oh, cool.
So that if I do hook in, it'll be this line that parts and I'll bring everything else back.
That's
it's
cool.
a theory. Yeah.
It looks good.
And if it does come back, then this brings it up onto the surface very quickly, so you're not dragging the lead along the bottom.
So small fish takes the bait, big fish takes the hook.
Yeah, yeah. And we leave it out there. We don't respond to any little knocks and rattles. We wait for the big boy.
Sounds good to me, mate.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Whoa, wind's getting up. Finger fob on.
Chris. Look at that. Look at the boat.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd hold on to it and feel what it feels, the tug feels like at the other end of it. I mean, that's on, isn't it? I mean, that's on the hook. Jason's winding in at something again. Is it the curse of the whiting? Oh, doggy! That's 2 species anyway.
Nice one.
The bait's so big it couldn't actually get it all the way in its mouth.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah. He's a nice one. Look how big he is.
Yeah, it's beauty, isn't it?
Nice one, isn't it?
Billy Bob's adjudicating. making sure his namesake, the dogfish. Well, I've got the Kelly kettle on again. Have another brew. Definitely burning well. Definitely gets the water boiling. I think it's probably boiling actually. Some steam coming out of there. Might try cooking some soup on it, actually on the fire. Bit of activity on my rods up there. I've got a weed on. Might pick up some weed again. Yeah, another doggy.
Another doggy.
Nice one. And the cuttlefish is well ragged on this. If you don't realise it's the dog is sitting on top of me. Who's getting kept the warmest, me or him? Well, it's come to the end of the session. Hasn't been a complete blank, but I've had a couple of whiting. To be honest with you, they look bait. No sign of anything decent, no big congers or any other big takes. Jason's had a couple of dogfish as well, but you know, it was what we expected. We're going to do 2 or 3 more of these Conger nights, try a different place each time as the windows in the weather occur. I'm hoping Saturday I'll get out there, give the opportunity to do a little bit of a survey on the reef that's on Martello Tower and Seaford, so I'll get an idea of some clear areas I'm casting to. And one of the other places I quite fancy, again, depends on the weather, is up by the this side of the Eastbourne Marina entrance, Stone Jetty, quite a good spot. Some big boulders and rocks for the jet fuel and wheels. So, I'll start thinking about winding in and packing up and going home. It's 10 minutes to Christmas Eve. So, Merry Christmas everybody. Hope you have a good Christmas. Happy New Year. Hopefully you will see me before the New Year, which will put some more videos out. And we have fish aplenty in 2020. don't need them now because I've got the dogs keeping me warm, and I'm keeping the dog warm.